My name's Josephine, and I'm sick of reading. Hello friends, and welcome to another instalment of my 6 weeks, 6 genres challenge. This week was my week of reading Cosy Mysteries for a week. So actually, I have to level with you, it's not going to be a week. So in the beginning, when I first started this challenge, I was reading the books from Monday to Sunday, but things would get pushed and I wouldn't end up finishing them until Monday morning, then Monday evening, and then with fantasy, I didn't end up finishing until Wednesday morning. So this vlog starts then, Wednesday afternoon, and that normally wouldn't be a problem because I could still read for a week and it wouldn't make any difference. However, next week is the reading rush, and the reading rush is a Monday to Sunday readathon, and I wanted to be reading my horror books, which is next week's reading vlog, during the reading rush readathon. I'd got all of the challenges to fit my horror books, and I didn't want to have any spillover from Cosy Mystery. So I need to read the books that I've decided to read during Cosy Mystery in the 5 days. This is going to be more like a long weekend reading vlog rather than a full week, but it is Cosy Mysteries, so they are a bit shorter than some of the other books I've been reading. And I was also hoping that this would be a nice little easy to read cosy rest in between the epic slog of fantasy and the bone-chilling horror next week. As you may know, if you've watched these videos before, I like to read a classic of the genre, a more diverse version of the genre, and then one that is very popular on BookTube. However, I don't really watch that many people who watch Cosy Mysteries. I don't feel like Cosy Mystery is a big genre on BookTube, so that one kind of got knocked out. But obviously, in terms of a classic of the genre, Agatha Christie is the queen of Cosy Mysteries. So I had to pick an Agatha Christie, and as Then There Were None is possibly the best-selling crime book of all time. I think I heard that somewhere. That is what I have decided to read for that one. So, And Then There Were None is about a group of people who go to an island on holiday, and one by one they all start dropping dead, and they have to try and work out who is doing the murder, who trying not to get murdered. I have read a few Agatha Christie's in the past, but they have all been Poirot and I've read one Miss Marple mystery. I read them when I was very young, so it's been a long time since I read them. I think about 15 years since I last read a Poirot. But I do enjoy the TV adaptation with David Suchet. So the other ones that I'm planning to read are The Plot is Murder by V.M. Andrews, which is one when I was researching Cosy Mystery that I saw on BookTube and I thought looked interesting. I can't remember the name of the BookTube, which is really bad, but I will leave it here and I will leave them linked. I also found on my library app The Unexpected Return of Josephine Fox, which is a Cosy Mystery set during the Second World War in the English countryside. So it is a historical fiction Cosy Mystery, and as I love historical fiction and I enjoy the television adaptation of Poirot's, which were written in the 30s and 40s, so it's set in that time period, I thought that would be quite a good one because I believe that The Plot is Murder is set in the current day. I also borrowed The Mitford Murders by Jessica Fellowes, who is the niece of the guy who wrote Downton Abbey. And I kind of enjoy Downton Abbey. It's a bit soapy for me, but I thought it would be interesting to see that because I do like the novels of Nancy Mitford. I'm also intrigued as to how she handles the two Mitford sisters who are Nazis. Before we get into the vlog, please remember to like this video if you like it and to subscribe for more book recommendations and reviews. I should be able to just read. I'm going to try and make this as cozy as possible because the books that I'm reading are Cosy Mysteries. So I think this should be a nice cozy break in my reading. This weekend I have 3 audiobooks, which for me is easier because I can do other things while I'm reading them and my eyes don't get tired, which is a problem I've been having, especially with hay fever. It's going to be a cozy murdery weekend. I promise not to murder anyone. I'm going to do some tidying whilst I listen to The Plot is Murder by V.M. Burns, and which is about an author and a bookshop owner who a murder happens, and because she runs a mystery bookshop and writes mysteries, the police think that she might have something to do with it or know how to deal with it. I don't really know. I think that's the synopsis. So I'll listen to that whilst I tidy everything up so that it's nice and tidy, because it's much easier to be cozy when you're not worrying about everything being a bit of a mess. So I'm going to do that now. And then this weekend I'll probably go on a walk by myself, to the woods probably. I might do some baking. That might be nice. But I don't have a whole lot planned except for reading. Hello, so I've tidied up my living room and my conservatory, which is also my reading room, although it's a bit warm in there right now for too much reading. So I'm listening to The Plot is Murder, and the woman in the book lives in New York, I think. Oh, I might be misremembering. But she's writing a book set in England, and there are extracts of the book within this other book. I'm not sure how I feel about books within a book, but what I really don't like is audiobook narrators who cannot do the accent of the place that they're supposed to be doing the accent from. So currently I'm listening to this book that's set in England, and she's attempting an English accent, and it is truly awful. Truly awful. And hopefully the majority of the book will be in an American accent, because the murders happened and the murder was in the US. But if this book within a book keeps happening, it's really hard to read, because it's all... She pronounced the word scheme as skame, as if English people said skame. I mean, I know there are a lot of accents in England, but I don't think any of them say skame. I mean, she's supposed to be doing an upper class 1940s accent, and that would be scheme still. So it's rather irritating. Still listening to The Plot is Murder. Everyone's being described as pleasingly plump. I don't have a problem with the descriptor in itself, but you have to use it for like 7 characters in the first 5 chapters, because it's a bit of overkill. I'm not really enjoying it. It feels like a poorly written romance novel, except it's a poorly written cozy mystery. I don't really care about the murder. It reminds me a bit of sort of mystery books I used to read as a kid, but I'm not really intrigued at all at the moment, and it doesn't even feel that cozy. Still, it's not that long, so I'll probably finish it this evening, and then tomorrow I've got Agatha Christie and the Josephine Cox one and the Mitford murders one, so I know Agatha Christie will be good, even if the others aren't. Another annoyance from this book, the book within a book is set in England in, well, the reign of George VI, which means somewhere between 1936 and 1952, and it seems to have been very horribly researched, and I don't know if that's like, oh, the writer didn't think the research really mattered because it's the character who hasn't done any research, but it is frustrating to know things like how people spoke then, have it be really badly done. Like, I don't mind small inaccuracies, but really bad, clearly not bothered to do any research is kind of annoying. And it's Friday morning now. I was very sleepy this morning, so it's taken me a while to get up. So I have decided to put a pause on The Plot is Murder, because I'm not really loving it at the moment. Maybe I'll come back to it in a bit, but for now I've decided to take a break from that one. I do also have the ebook of it, as well as the audiobook, so if I decide to pick it up again, I may choose to read it with my eyes, because the accent is rather frustrating when you are someone who has that accent. To listen to someone do it poorly can be like nails on a chalkboard. I decided to pick up today the Mitford murders. So this is one that I wasn't intending to read originally, but I'm going to give it a try. I borrowed it from my partner's grandmother, who loves a cozy mystery, so I think that's a good recommendation for this week. And this is set in 1919, and it is based on the Mitford sisters, who were a famous group of socialite sisters. Nancy Mitford was a writer. She wrote Love in a Cold Climate and The Pursuit of Love, both of which I've read and enjoyed. She's quite caustic and funny and very ridiculous. The first in a new mystery series amid the lives of the glamorous Mitford sisters based on real life events. This one is about a girl named Florence killed on a train in broad daylight, and Louisa and Nancy Mitford find themselves embroiled in the crime. So I think the crime itself happened. I don't think the Mitford sisters were involved in solving the mystery, but hopefully this will be more up my street than the other one. So that's my plan for today. I also am embroidering something. It's my partner's grandmother who lent me this book. I'm embroidering something for her birthday. So when I get back to listening to audiobooks, I might do some of that embroidery. The Cosy Mysteries feel like quite a autumnal / wintry sort of thing to read, so it almost feels like it's the wrong time of the year for it. Although next week I'll be reading horror, so maybe this series would have been better in October. But for now I will get back to the Mitford murders, and I will catch up with you when I have read a bit more. So it's the evening now. I've come out into the garden because it's finally in the shade. We have a south-facing garden, so I get sun most of the day, which is great for our vegetables, but not so great for me. I wilt a bit in the heat. So I'm about 100 pages into the Mitford murders now. I think I'll probably finish it this evening. It's not too strenuous or straining a read, but I'm also not loving it. I just can't make myself read because I'm just not that interested in it. I was really looking forward to Cosy Mystery because I had some experience reading Poirot's and Miss Marple books when I was younger, and I enjoyed the adaptations on the television, so I thought that this was going to be just a fun, sweet, cosy weekend, but instead I find myself a little bit bored. I haven't properly gotten into either of the books that I've tried so far yet, so I'm going to persevere. I'm going to keep going with this, and I'm hoping that once I'm halfway through, it's 400 pages, so once I'm halfway through I'm hoping I will be more intrigued and more interested to find out who done it, but at the moment I'm just not that intrigued, which is really disappointing. Tomorrow I'm going to read the Agatha Christie that I have decided to read for this, which is And Then There Were None, so I've got high hopes for that one. Hopefully it can rescue the Cosy Mystery genre for me, or hopefully these will turn around and I will find myself intrigued. Doing this all back to back has been quite a lot for me. Vlogging every week for the past 5 weeks has been quite intense, especially considering the whole global situation being difficult, and also not doing a lot because of that global situation, and being someone who is immunocompromised because of my chronic illness and the medication that I take. That's meant that I felt I've had a hard time making these vlogs interesting because I've been at home, but then they're supposed to be about the reading. It's a convoluted thing, and then also I feel like I just need some literary fiction now. I just need some intense, well-written, character-driven literary fiction, because there's been a lot of plot and a lot of writing that's not entirely to my taste. I don't want to insult anyone, but it's just not my style. Hello, it's Sunday. No, Saturday. It's Saturday, and I have been working on my vlog for ages and ages because it's been taking me longer than I thought it would. And 5:30, and I haven't read anything yet. But I just went on to Scribd in order to listen to And Then There Were None, which I had saved, and it's gone. It's gone. It's they do that thing where they only have it for a certain amount of time, and then it goes, and then it comes back, or whatever. But it's gone, and all of their Agatha Christie audiobooks have gone. So, I'm so annoyed. So I'm going to either have to listen to The Unexpected Return of Josephine something Baker. Don't think it's Josephine Baker, which I can listen to now, or I'm going to have to try and find another Agatha Christie. I think I'm going to listen to the one that I already have, and then I'll see about finding an Agatha Christie, because I do technically have 3, with The Blotter's Murder and the Mitford Murders, but I don't really like either of those ones. So we'll see what happens. I didn't realise that my makeup had smudged all over my face, so please ignore that. I have started The Unexpected Return of Josephine Fox, and I like one, finally. I'm getting on with this writing style at least a lot better than the others. Like, I don't know if I'll like it by the end, but the writing style is conducive to me wanting to listen to it. So that is a positive. I also found some Agatha Christie's on RB Digital. Gosh, what's the one I wanted? And Then There Were None was not available, so I've gone for the A.B.C murders. But I'm going to stick to Josephine Fox for today, and then I will think about the other ones tomorrow. I might go for a walk in a bit. It's 7:15. I'm just finally uploading my video. But then after that, I might go for a walk after I finish my beer, and then come back, do some reading, maybe do some embroidery since I'm listening to an audiobook tonight, and then maybe read some of the physical copy of The Mitford Murders later, but I don't like it. Cheers. Good morning. It is Sunday morning. I have finally finished a book. I finished The Unexpected Return of Josephine Fox. I thought it was decent. The writing was at least good enough to compel me to finish the book. I was intrigued by the mystery and I wanted to know what was going on. I thought the relationships were well formed. I love relationships between middle-aged women and older women, just being friends and being grumpy, but also eccentric. That's the word I mean. But, fiercely loyal. And I love that trope of the grumpy, eccentric older lady who's really a soft sweetheart on the inside. One of my favourite tropes. So that was good that was in there. But the ending was a bit dramatic for me. It was just a bit over dramatic. I didn't get it until the point where you're supposed to get it, I think. So that's good. I hadn't quite worked it out. Which is always fun. But I would say this was like borderline Cosy Mystery and actual thriller. Like, it was set during the Second World War in the UK in a village. The village was like mean. It wasn't like a nice village. We don't talk about secrets. And we protect the upper classes, which I think is probably more accurate than the Mitford murders, where really posh people who are actually turn out to be fascists in the end are just lovely people to the working classes. It seems fake, but okay. So today is Sunday. Today's the last day I'm reading Cosy Mysteries, definitely 100%. I have the A.B.C murders on audiobook, which is not that long to listen to, and I also have to finish the Mitford murders. I'm going to try and do both, because I really think I should at least read 3. I'm probably going to have DNF the Blotter's Murder, though, because I didn't like the writing and the accents were annoying me. Like a double whammy. So apart from that, it is a grey, miserable day, which I'm quite happy about. I'm glad it's raining, because it was so muggy the past few days. Okay, I have just started the A.B.C Murder audiobook, literally just started it, and I'm so excited because it is read by the guy who plays Hastings in the TV version of Poirot with David Suchet. I haven't read a lot of Poirot books, but I have watched quite a lot of David Suchet's Poirot on the TV, so I'm very excited that it's Hastings because I love him. So yeah, hopefully I'll finish that, and fingers crossed also the Mitford murders. Wish me luck. It's going to be... So I've finished all the stems, if you look here. If you look at them side to side, I've finished all the stems of it. Now I need to add the flowers, and that's obviously the more difficult bit because they're more important and they are not just straight lines, which is easy to do with either this stem stitch or back stitch, which is how I've done all of them. So I need to work out like what stitches I want to use for them and how to make them look the right shape and the right style so that people know what flowers they are. So this is, I'm happy with it so far. I'm just a bit nervous about continuing. I'm also nearly finished the A.B.C murders. I've just been sat here. What time is it? Oh, it's nearly 3:30. So I've been sat here for like 2.5 hours maybe, just doing that. Quite happy by myself listening to the A.B.C murders, but we are nearly at the point of finishing it now, which is good, and I've really enjoyed it. It has felt like watching a Poirot, and I have been seeing it in my head. It's definitely an enjoyable experience and one that I would repeat again. I think the thing is with Agatha Christie is that there are some that are really good and some that are rubbish, and you have to like find the right one. But the A.B.C murders was one of the recommended ones I really wanted to listen to, and then there were none because I think that that's like the most famous Agatha Christie, but the one that's most popular and the one that's not really adapted either, so I haven't seen an adaptation, so it would be interesting because it's not a Poirot or a Miss Marple, so I'd really like to see that, and I really like to listen to that, so I might listen to that in future. Hello. I look very purple. It is the evening. I have read no more of the Mitford murders, partly because I just don't want to, and partly because I've been writing videos and watching YouTube videos, honestly. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. I'm so tired, but yeah, it's like half past 9, obviously I could read for 2 hours, the more I can get, but my eyes are so tired. I'm gonna try, but I'll probably end up falling asleep pretty soon in the conservatory, even though there's no heating in here, and it's, well, there is heating in here, but the heating is obviously not on because it's July and it's warm everywhere else, but the conservatory is like being in a tent, where it's very, very cold as soon as the sun goes down, but when the sun's up, it's sweltering and you can't stay in it, so it's not great at this time of year. It's not great in midwinter either because it's freezing cold the whole time, but in spring and autumn, it really comes into its own. Hello, it's late now. I found the audiobook for the Mitford murders, so I have been listening to it for a while. I do just prefer things in audiobook, like I get on with it more because you kind of ignore the writing style a bit more. Like, I didn't enjoy The Plot is Murder, but I think the fact that the narrator couldn't do a British accent when was trying irritated me, and then it made me just more aware of the bad writing, whereas this one I'm just kind of letting it wash over me. So I don't know if I would have felt more frustrated by the unexpected return of Josephine Fox had I tried to read it in physical copy first. I don't know, but I'm enjoying it a bit more, although still not that fussed on it, to be honest, and I think I prefer the unexpected Josephine Fox. I think the Agatha Christie was definitely my favourite so far. So, my partner just brought me some sleepy tea, which was very nice of them. So, I'm going to sign off now, and you will see me at the roundup, which will be in a second for you. You won't notice any difference. Okay, so that was Cosy Mystery Week. A bit different than I was expecting. So I DNF'd The Plot is Murder. The writing was not strong, not my preferred style of writing. Everything just seemed to keep happening to the main character, and I didn't think it was particularly lyrical or particularly interesting. And also, I really, really struggle with audiobooks narrated by people who have terrible accents. If you saw my video where I tried to read Amnesty by Aravinda Diga, and they'd chosen a Canadian who had no idea how to do an Australian accent, trying to do the whole thing in an Australian accent, you'll know how I feel about this. Anyway, so I DNF'd that, which was a shame because it was my most different one, because I had two that were historical fiction and one that was a classic. And so this was my only one that was contemporary, but I just didn't get on with it. Then in terms of As Then There Were None, which is what I intended to read, it vanished by the time I got around to actually reading it. So instead I read the A.B.C. murders, and I did enjoy that. I have seen a few adaptations of that one, so it didn't surprise me. I knew what was going to happen, but I did enjoy it. It is well written, it is well paced, and the plot is very clear. Nothing seems to come out of the blue like, well, that couldn't possibly have happened. So I did enjoy that, and I do think that I would possibly read more Poirot books in the future. And then I read the Mitford murders by Jessica Fellowes, and the Mitfords are in it, but Nancy Mitford is only 18 in the book, so it's not about them as grown-ups or when Nancy is a writer or when her sisters are Nazis/Stalinists. It isn't quite as into the family dynamic as I thought. I also thought it painted a very sympathetic light on a family where there were a lot of fascists involved, and also a very historically inaccurate portrayal of servant and owner of the house dynamics, which I guess is true in Downton Abbey, but this was like even more extreme than in Downton Abbey. So I didn't like that aspect of it, and I also didn't think it was particularly well written, and the mystery itself was a bit ridiculous. I mean, I guess they're supposed to be. It's kind of the tropes of the genre, but I didn't get on with that one that well either. Now, The Unexpected Return of Josephine Fox was my favourite of the three that weren't Agatha Christie. So things that I'd never tried before. And I thought that the characters in that were really well developed. I liked the way that it explored actually explored ideas of class and sexism and sexuality in the 1940s. I thought that they were very well explored. I did find it a little bit sensationalist and a little bit soapy, a bit too dramatic for my personal taste, but it was definitely the one that was most compelling. With the V.M. Andrews and the Fellows ones, I was just annoyed by the writing a lot, which didn't happen to me with the Josephine Fox, because I felt like the writing was solid for the story. It wasn't like beautiful writing or anything, but I don't think that that's what you're expecting from a cozy mystery. Well, I think I would pick up Agatha Christie again. I think that I could see myself doing that on a cozy evening. They're definitely a very quick read. I read it all in one sitting whilst I was doing embroidery, so it's a good audiobook for that. I was very, very glad that it was Hugh Fraser doing the audiobook, because he played Hastings in the Poirot that I enjoy. So I think I could definitely read more Poirot, and I would like to read And Then There Were None. Actually get around to reading it at some point. However, I feel like it's the sort of thing that gets churned out. Similar way to romance, there are some in the genre that are good, that are standout, that say something important or interesting, that are well written or funny or do something slightly different with the genre. However, there is such a volume produced. Old ladies love cozy mystery and also romance from working in the library. They are two very popular genres, and so there's a lot. Like, people will just read all of them because they're very, very easy reads. With cozy mystery, especially if you have a detective character who is your main character, people will read everything that is written about them, and so they are incredibly popular, and I feel like that is to the detriment of the genre, because it means that there is a lot that is produced for consumption rather than for quality, which is fine. it keeps publishing going. It's the sort of thing that publishing needs, but it doesn't necessarily lend itself to being like, oh, this is now a genre that I know I enjoy, because there is a lot of rubbish. And so I think you need to either find a writer that you know you enjoy, or find a reviewer that you know you trust and read what they suggest. But for me, yeah, I might pick some more up. Probably they will only be Agatha Christie. I can't see myself really reading any other cozy mysteries because it's not my escapism. Next week is horror. It is the reading rush. It is the last week of my 6 weeks, 6 genres challenge. So it's a very exciting week all round, and you should definitely subscribe in order to be here and see it. I have never read horror before, actually a complete virgin in this genre next week, so that's very exciting. Please let me know in the comments if you like to read cozy mystery, if you have any recommendations for me that you think would be up my street, and let me know how you feel about horror for next week. Thank you for watching. Please remember to give this video a big thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate that. And remember to subscribe because I put out new videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Bye bye!